everyone. My name is Carol Richards, and this is Teacher Talk, episode 23. I have with me today my friend Paul Myatt, who is from Forte Music and also an excellent piano teacher. He teaches groups. And for the past couple of Teacher Talks, we've actually looked at very young children having music. And last week, we looked at lovely Mary Walton at Eaton Farm Primary, how she uses music to tie together music skills and literacy skills. I'm really fascinated by this whole issue of music with young children, especially the importance of having music when they're very young and with their parents. Parents play a huge role in education. And if I could just tell you a little bit about some research I found by Edward Gordon called A Music Learning Theory for Newborn and Young Children. He says what children learn in the first 5 years of their life forms the foundation for all subsequent education development. Another thing that he tells us, which is really very important, is that we cannot correct for children's loss of opportunity during this time. This is when the foundation for learning is being established. And so we can only use compensatory, not remedial instruction when they are older. What is lost cannot be recaptured. And he reminds us that the home is the most important school that children will ever know. And children's parents are the most important teachers they will ever have. Now, Paul, I know that you run some early childhood sessions with children and parents. And I'm wondering if we could have a look at a little snippet of a lesson and then talk about what's going on that fits in with this research.
Sure. Well, this is a little snippet of a jungle music lesson at a Forte school. It's actually a Forte school in Adelaide, and the teacher is Miss Irene. And these children are probably 2 to 3 years old, and they're having an awful lot of fun.
Yes, and I noticed the parents are there, and
Absolutely.
nicely, we have some fathers there
I know, brilliant,
that are
isn't it?
helping the children. That was really interesting. All the activities with the big drum. Can you explain
Yes.
what's going on?
The big drum is a feature of most of jungle music classes at Forte schools because it's so much fun to play. As you could see, the children were really enjoying exploring the different sounds in that middle section. So the big drum comes, it's called a gathering drum. And it's a beautiful instrument, and it's a Remo instrument, and all the children come with their little toys, and at the start of the lesson they do the hello song, so they're tapping the beat while they're singing the tune, and for that particular album it's called Knock Knock, so they go knock knock, come forward, come go, and so on and so on. And then you'll notice after they had the little drumming exercise exploration, they were singing and holding their toys, virtual little dogs, because this album is called Knock Knock and it's about the home. And then they were putting the dogs on their parts of their body. So to represent pitch going down.
So they're doing all the musical skill foundation, beat, rhythm, different sounds, which is tone, color, pitch, and also volume.
Yes, volume was very important.
Volume, there was loud and there was soft, and speed. There were some very fast things and some very slow things. The other thing that I love is that the parents were right involved as well.
Yeah, that's really, really important. And a lot of, for many children, this is a great opportunity to spend time with their parents without a mobile device as well. So, you know, all the mobiles are banned in a jungle music class because we want the parent to be totally involved. So this is quality time for parents and their children, and quality education time, really.
Do you have another snippet? Can we see what else goes on in these jungle music lessons? The reason why I am asking is there's more research by Geist, and Kuznick that talks about how important that music is for the learning of foundational mathematics skills. And they talk about beat and rhythm and melody and counting and the sorts of things that you do in a music lesson. So could we have another look?
Sure, we've got two little snippets. One is for numeracy, and I'm sure everyone will know this song.
Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran out the clock. The clock struck one, we go one, waiting. The mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock, tap, tap the job. And hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran out the clock. The clock struck two, now 1, 2, and the mouse goes boom. The mouse ran out the clock. The clock struck 3, we count 1, 2, 3. The mouse goes woo! Hickory dickory dock.
That's so interesting. I guess I have to ask, why did you start this early music thing when you're piano studio?
Well, back in the 90s when we started, we used to start children at 4, and we found, I can personally say over the last, we've been going 27 years, so but over the past 27 years, I've seen finger dexterity in children decline, and I personally put that down to the use of lots of screens and not much writing. So there is that. We generally start piano students at 4. Back in the 90s, we actually started them at 3.5. But people would ring up, and mums would ring up and say, "Oh, he's nearly 3, he's 2.5," and we just they wanted to come to a music class because they'd heard how successful it was and how the children really enjoyed it, but we just didn't have anything to offer, and so we really researched around the world to try and find a product that was suitable. We couldn't find something that ticked all the boxes for us, so we decided, which is what we did with our piano courses, we'll just write it ourselves. And so my colleague Gillian Erskine's son, who is now 22, was one of our first test case dummies from the age of 3 or 4 months old. And he is an exceptional pianist now and has perfect pitch and an amazing trumpet player as well.
One of the things I found when doing my research on young children and learning is the fact that parents need to be involved. In fact, a piece of research by William Teal entitled "Parents Reading to Their Children What We Know and Need to Know" is that positive relationship with the parent and child, the child being read to, helps to develop oral and written language and helps to prepare for oral and written language development. So I think that one of the things we notice when we watch these snippets is that children are participating in language development. So I think you have a snippet that shows some of the different language they're learning through music. Could we see that?
Of course.
Ready, we're going. And again, we're going. Down, 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 down. Oh, good job. Stretch it. Whoa, yeah. Again, let's go. Oh, very good. To the round and on, and then we shake it out.
So they learn up and down and out and in and experienced all of that and seem to have a wonderful time.
And all of those lyrics are in the book, so the parents can can open the book up and read the lyrics as well, and they can even read the lyrics to their children as well.
So you have a series of books. Knock Knock is what? About the home?
Knock Knock is about home, and then we've got On the Sea, which is about sea creatures. Driving My Tractor is about the farm, and then Forest Friends is about forests.
Actually, they're learning lots of language. So in the forest one, they would learn about all the creatures necessarily who live in the forest. This is before they go to school.
Absolutely.
This is very, very young. Can we see another snippet?
We can. This one's actually a very good example of learning some musical techniques or musical concepts.
Really something slowly. Sit. Morning star. Lovely. I feel. Good job, buddy. I feel like a morning star. Who's coming? Wait.
So you can see they're learning fast and slow, and it's a fabulous song, Shoe Fly. Everyone knows that who works with children, and but a different arrangement of Shoe Fly with the middle section.
And it's very clear that the music has two sections. And apparently in mathematics, sections is very important. So here's another example, teachers of young children with their parents and how important it is to have lots of artistic experiences early on. And Paul, yours isn't the only early childhood program. When I was in China, we worked with the Mini Maestros program, which is also wonderful for young children. But we had the same problem in China, that parents would come and they didn't understand what we were trying to do. They wanted their children at 2 to be playing violin already and reading music. They didn't understand that things happen in a sequence and children need skills. My last question to you is, as a piano teacher, do you notice when you get children who've gone through an early childhood program? Is there any difference between how they learn initially and children who haven't?
It makes a huge difference. The earlier they start, the more effective music education is for them from the age of 5, or piano specifically, because they have a lot of foundation skills. So they have beat, they can hear rhythm, they can hear pitch, and often they're already singing in tune because they've been singing from a young age. And I know I now have some 17-year-olds who have been through that program, and they are wonderful musicians. You know, they're really talented young musicians, but not only that, they're also in the top 90%, top 10%, above 90% at school as well. So it has really affected their whole schooling, and often they are using music. They may or may not continue on with music, but often they're using music as a lovely outlet when they're 16 and 17 to reduce the pressures of school.
Mhm. Well, thank you for your time, and thank you for showing us some of the things in your program. It's really looking at the whole child and setting them up for their whole life in education and the arts. And I think that's a wonderful thing. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today for Teacher Talk, and hope to see you next time. Bye for now.